My name is Joelle. I had no idea that actually part of this award would be attributed to me. I thought I was representing everybody who's advocated on every project that DRW does in our state, and so that was a little nerve-wracking. And I guess what I also wanted to say is I felt a certain amount, even though I had tremendous respect for NDRN and tremendous respect for DRW, I had a certain amount of heartburn about being on the team that accepted this award for a couple of reasons. One is because, and this is the most important reason, while I have been involved on a number of projects that DRW is involved in, I think the one that is the most politically transformative for me and that really got to the core of our advocacy and made me believe so much in my colleagues was the work that DRW did in a very innovative way on seeking input from people with disabilities about our thoughts about what happened to Ashley. And I feel like we were centered and principled and focused and loving and respectful in that work. And if some people think that was radical, I feel sorry for those people. I really do. I don't understand, but we'll get to that in a moment. The most important thing, though, is that there was a space. There's a chair next to me. There's an open space in that chair. We need to leave a symbolic chair open at this conference for all the people that cannot be here. For people like Ashley. I wish so much that we had overcome our perception of Ashley's intelligence, our perception of her value, and our ability to communicate with her, to get her firsthand feelings in whatever way she could express them, whether it be through her facial expressions, or the way that she sat, or things that she responded to about her own experience. We can congratulate ourselves today, and we've done some good work. But Ashley isn't here. She isn't here. And we weren't able to say what happened to her. She was a little child who was mutilated by people who allegedly loved and ought to have protected her. Not just her family, especially her family, but also the hospital, and also other people who felt like they were entitled to say, yeah, go ahead, take out her breast buttons, take out her uterus. While you're at it, why don't you pump her through with a bunch of untested hormones? Let's hope that works out well. They felt entitled to say that in their lunch. And so when we go to lunch today and have nice desserts, and we're in a beautiful setting with wonderful people, there's one person that I'm missing. And I don't know her, and I don't presume to speak for her. How could I? It took me 2 years to look on the website of her parents, to look at her face, to see her eyes, because I didn't want to project my own opinions onto her body. But I would just invite you to go to see pictures of her and her own eyes, because she was a child, and she's still with us. I believe that strongly that wherever she is, it is my hope that in whatever way she experiences it, she experiences love. And whatever way she can feel warmth, I hope she feels warmth. And somewhere, even though she lives in the Pacific Northwest, I hope she feels some sun on her face. And so that's one piece of what I want to say. But the second thing I really need to tell you, even if it takes more time than I am about to have here, is that if we are talking about developing people with disabilities, and we are recognizing that as a core issue at the center of all of these bad policies and decisions that we're working on, we need to talk about self-advocacy. And we need to talk about why self-advocacy devalues people with disabilities, and why self-advocacy gives us all a free pass. And so what I want to say to you in saying that is that I'm proud of every person who is an ally, or a person with a disability, or a person of conscience who engages in advancing the movement for disability rights, for human rights, and for civil rights. regardless of their ability status, advocates from a place of self-interest and enlightened self-interest. And I think self-advocacy is a convenient way for identifying who has a disability and what strategies we're supposed to employ in order to sit down at a table together. And I don't think that actually moves our movement forward. We're here for NDRN today to celebrate NDRN and NDRW. But what I want to tell you is that we are feeding a movement for cultural transformation. And that cultural transformation requires us to examine our own assumptions about who people with disabilities are and what it means to be a person with a disability. So if you need to call me a self-advocate to create a place at the table, I'll accept that for now for about another 15 minutes. And I think everybody else has realized that we're at about that 15-minute point, that it's just another label. So what can we do? Where is the power? Where is the hope and where is the vision? I want to talk to you about that because there is a vision. We need to create an accessible culture in this movement. What does that mean? I'm not just talking about the ADA. I'm not just talking about interpreters. I'm not just talking about incredibly dedicated support people or families. What I am telling you is that we need to model what it means to think about the world as a place that can welcome people with disabilities in new and transformational ways. And we can take responsibility, but it requires a change in our own thinking about equality. And it may require that lawyers will have to listen to people that don't buy their arguments. And it may require that some people don't become lawyers. Please make room for them anyway. Please. And I guess the last thing that I want to tell you is that we can do this. We don't have an option. We must move forward, and we must open our hearts to the possibility, because it's the values, it's the thinking, it's the sense of entitlement that created a situation where a young girl could be mutilated. We can't have that happen to a girl or to a man or to a woman. And so for the role that you play in stopping that, thank you. But I'm less interested in what you're going to stop than what you're going to start. I'm ready to move from reaction to proaction. And I think we can do that together. I think you hamstring your power if you define what the goals of the people with disabilities who participate in your coalitions ought to be. I think you should, if you can, allow yourself to be humble and to wait for people with disabilities to tell you what it is in the way that they choose. So I thank you for this auspicious honor. I respect your work greatly. I want to thank Mark Stroh, who is the Director of Disability Rights Washington, and Betty Schmierman, who is the Associate Director, and everyone who works there, from the receptionist to the top, who is a wonderful team member, to NDRN. And I really want to thank Ashley for creating an opportunity for us to have some of the toughest, most meaningful conversations that I've participated in. Thank you.